A lot of times when you see a coach going off the sidelines at halftime, there's an understanding that the sideline reporter is going to get two questions. Sometimes it's only one. Maybe it's three. There's a discussion maybe pregame if you're going to talk to the coach. And I was wondering with Jenny Taft, she was working the sidelines with Penn State and Michigan, and Jenny joins us now. At what point did you realize that Harbaugh wasn't going to be there, and how much prep work did you have on what you were going to talk to him about?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. This is really special to be a part of the show, so thank you. And, it was one of those situations, Dan, where I've never been in a situation like this before, where oftentimes the broadcast has a lot more information going into the game. Maybe the public doesn't know. We had no idea if Harbaugh was going to show up minutes before the game. And throughout the week, we had a conversation with Coach Harbaugh, and he said, if for some reason I am not able to coach, it will be Sharon Moore. So we knew that going into it, but they really did not believe that was going to be the situation. So I felt a little bit like an investigative reporter on Saturday morning. And yeah, you're always looking at body language and talking to players and coaches. And it was just a different energy because no one knew. I interviewed Sharon Moore during warmups when they still didn't know if Harbaugh could potentially show up. And obviously the mood continued to shift. So I know Sharon Moore, and I've gotten to know him pretty well over the years. And he had a calm confidence to the way he was carrying himself. But then when he realized he was going to be the guy, I did feel like he tensed up, and you could just sense that it was a big opportunity for him.
Okay, let's say Harbaugh showed up. What was your question going to be prior to the game?
Oh, gosh. First of all, Harbaugh, it's been years for me convincing him to do these interviews. So as you know, he doesn't love them, but I would have chased him down and said, Coach, the last 24 hours have been insane. You've been in your hotel room. What has been going through your mind? And how are you prepared to win this game today? I think the issue is, and I've been asked this, do you ask about the allegations in that moment? And I tend to believe that you have to allow the game to play out. And perhaps after a win, I would have taken that opportunity to congratulate him on the win. Had they won with Harbaugh coaching, I assume it would have been the same outcome there. And then you possibly give him the opportunity to address a different audience, because he's spoken about it, in his press conferences. But I would try to give him that moment. But as we all know with Harbaugh, and as Sharon Moore did the same, they like to start the interview and then hand him off to a player. So I'm kind of used to that when it comes to Michigan.
What do you expect? Is Harbaugh on the sidelines this weekend?
Boy, I have a feeling yes, just based on how confident they seem to be. Obviously, we know that hearing is set for Friday, and I'm sure you saw some of his quotes yesterday from his presser saying that he's watched plenty of Judge Judy and he's prepared for his big moment. I mean, he had an all-time list of quotes yesterday that to say that Harbaugh is not stressed about this, it's kind of crazy, but I don't think he really is. And he's said to us over and over again, and this is what he is telling us, I did not know what was going on. And, he's handled the pressure, and he said to me, I don't want the players to deal with this. Let everyone come my way. So Harbaugh knows the hard questions are coming. He hasn't decided as of yesterday if he will speak on Friday, but if he's not there, Sharon Moore will continue. And after what we saw from Saturday and the way he was able to do both, manage that offense and lead the team, I thought it was pretty impressive.
We had Brady Quinn on yesterday, and I said, and he was talking about this too, could you set up a camera where I was more interested in watching Harbaugh watch the game than I would have been watching the game itself. But is there any chance that you could do an interview with him, or even the broadcasters could do an interview with him if he's watching from a hotel room?
Oh, I mean, you better believe I'm going to ask. I actually did ask that question, if we could send a camera to the hotel. I was shut down by Michigan, which I understand. I mean, At that point, they don't even know. And I'm like, where is he watching? Oh, he's in the hotel room. I said, with whom? Like, is he watching solo and just pacing? Like, Harbaugh watching a game in his hotel room should have been just like a steady cam video we were going to on the side. So look, I guess we don't know until Friday takes place, but I know that Fox will do whatever we can to make sure we have some sort of Harbaugh cam, and I will do my best to get all that inside scoop. And he is going to talk to me if he's there. He can't say no to me this time.
Do you know that for sure?
Well, I mean, I'm going to make it very clear to him, because you have to talk. And I've given him this out in the past, but at the same time, Coach Harbaugh, you got to talk now. So
it's
I'm
too
gonna do
big
my
of a news story, and hopefully
It is.
he understands that. Plus, he's playing the victim, and now he's the coach of America's team, and
Yeah, that's what he said. America's team, right? And I I know he doesn't like doing interviews because I know he wants the attention to be about the players, but this is different. And I do think he understands that now. So I don't worry, when we get off this, I'm going to text Michigan's SID and make sure we're prepared for all interviews.
well, they're probably watching, writing down all of this. We're talking to Jenny Taft. She'll be on the sidelines, Fox Big Noon Saturday, and it'll be Michigan and Maryland. Then it'll be Ohio State and Michigan the following Saturday. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
How physical does it get on the sidelines for you?
What do you mean?
Post-game jostling, trying to get a coach, camera people,
Sure.
It's
pretty intense. Look, I think back on Michigan, Ohio State a couple years ago when Michigan had finally gotten the win, Ann Arbor, snow coming down. I'm trying to find Aiden Hutchinson. I'm actually pregnant at the time, which is wild considering some of my security guards were like, we don't want you to do the interview of the storming of the field. And I'm like, you think I'm going to miss this interview?
Oh, wow.
Like, there's no way. So yeah, at times it's a little intense, but that's half the reason why I love the energy of being a sideline reporter. I think you feel it in a different way when you're on the field and you're chasing down coaches. We tend to have a plan, right? Like had Penn State won, I would have tried to find Coach Franklin to the side. Like at some point you have to a little bit map it out because if you don't want to miss the coach, that's the worst case in any field storming situation. But yeah, it gets physical, but at the same time, it's kind of what I love about it. And I would never turn down any of those interviews. Like I sprint to get to that coach as fast as I can when the game ends. And yeah, Sharon, did I anticipate the tears? No, I felt he was starting to feel it, like it was sinking in right before we had kind of chatted. And then once he started to get a little emotional, I soaked it up a little bit, and I felt like I didn't anticipate the swearing. He actually did text me right after, which I thought was really sweet. He said, I'm so sorry I got emotional. I'm sorry about the F-bombs, but like I couldn't help myself. And I think that just speaks to the emotion of college football. Like it's just, they had been through a lot and it was a big deal for him.
Loudest stadium you've been in?
The Big House is hard to top. It really is. I know I'm just talking about Michigan, but I was pretty impressed by Beaver Stadium. This was our second game at Penn State. And I will say that the way it's set up, it's just a really impressive fan base and crowd. And I haven't had a night game there, but we've just really enjoyed going to Happy Valley. And that crowd it's pretty special.
Being a journalist, can you confirm this, that Brady Quinn does a party pump before he goes on the show, on Big Noon Kickoff?
I mean, Brady does it all, right? Like Brady what can't he do? He got stopped twice on our way home for autographs. I'm like, this guy, it's just, he can't get away from being Brady Quinn. And he's a great teammate. I'm actually so lucky to work with a guy like him. I know he comes on the show often, so I should have texted him for some insight.
He seems like he could be high maintenance though, hair, makeup.
Well, it's just one of those, when he looks better than me, that's just not a great sign for a broadcast crew. I feel like I try to put myself together and then I'm standing next to Brady Quinn and
Yep.
you do what you can.
Yeah, I know. It's not fair. That's why he's called Beef O'Brady. Beef O'Brady. Good luck this weekend. We'll be watching. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Congrats on your baby, too. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Jenny Taft, she'll be on the sidelines there looking for Jim Harbaugh. It's Michigan and Maryland, and then Ohio State and Michigan the following Saturday. It's a job that your job is to make it look easy, smooth, fluid, and it's not, because it can be choppy and chaotic and survival, especially when the fans storm the field and then you're just looking, your camera person's there and there's this, sea of people and you're trying to do your job. And the fans are running by and yelling and screaming. They want to be on camera. It's chaos. It's disorganized chaos. I was going to say organized chaos, but there's nothing organized about that.